Okay. All right, so what we want to do, we're going to go over the squat again. We're going to progress it, maybe get a little heavier than we did last time, but we're just going to find a really good starting weight that we can start working out with for the squat. We're also going to go over the press, and we're going to go over the deadlift. And our goal for the day will be to find good starting weights for each of those moves. Learn the moves, find a good starting weight, so that when you do workout one, you've got starting weights that you can work with, and you'll be able to do 3 sets of 5 on those weights during the actual workout. Okay. All right, so let's go over the squat again. So step up here and turn around and face me. So we get our wide stance, toes out a little bit. Good. So in a second, we're going to drop down and we're going to find depth. And when we're down there, we're going to notice how our chest is pointed at the ground. We're going to be looking out at the ground. We're going to use our elbows and we're going to point those knees out and line them up with the toes. And we'll also feel how deep our hips have to get. So let's clasp our hands together. Now, to get down, you want to sit your butt back and bend over until we can get down there. Now go 1 inch lower with your butt. There we go. So right now that crease got just below the top of your knee. Knees pointed out in line with your toes. Chest is at the ground. You're looking here. Stand up with your butt. Push your butt up to the ceiling. Good. So you led with your hips.
Is that wrong?
No.
No, because, well, I started with that and then I did the, is that okay?
You started with your, you started with your hips. That's called hip drive. We want every squat to get hip drive out of the bottom.
So it's okay to...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
All right.
I feel like that's what caused me a problem. I was worried that's what caused me problems.
There is overdoing it, which we'll get to if that's a problem, but right now we want to exaggerate.
Okay.
All right, so let's do it again. All right, so rock your weight back just a little bit. Now, exaggerate, stand up butt first. Good. Now, the third one we're going to do, I'm going to put some resistance on your hips, and you can push your hips up against the resistance. All right, so come back down. Now, press your hips up into my hands. Up to the ceiling. Good. Keep driving. Good. All right. Do you feel that pushing up of the hips? So that's your hip drive. And that's how we're going to get out of the bottom of each hole. Yep. All right. Okay, so now let's review where we want the bar. So before we get our hands on there, you feel that bony ridge? We're going right underneath that. We're going to try and sink it right into that meaty, muscly shelf right there. All right, so you can put your hands up on top of the bar. Good. Then we'll duck under and we'll see if we can get it there. Okay, take a big breath. All right, so you're going to hold it. Look down here.
That far, okay.
Yep, so you're going to be looking down there. Big breath. Hold it, hips back and squat. And drive the hips up. Okay, we're going to get 4 more. So big breath. Now reach back with your hips. Feel the weight over your arches. Good, then drive the hips. No pause at the bottom. As soon as you hit depth, hips up. One more. Now bend over, keep your chest down at the bottom. All right, walk it in and rack it. So when we're racking it, don't try and set it down right on here because you can miss. Just walk it straight into the uprights and then just slide it down. Then you'll never miss.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's 2 things different about squatting here compared to how we did down in the bottom position. So we don't have our elbows to shove our knees out. So you're just going to intentionally have to point those knees out over your toes. Okay. And we won't pause at the bottom. So as soon as we hit depth, we'll just spring right back up. Yeah. Yep, so take a couple breaths and we'll do it again. All right, feel ready?
Yeah.
So we want it to feel tight when you get in that position. I'm going to push you in 1/2 inch deeper to there. Is that tight?
It just feels like the bar is behind you
It is.
compared to what I would normally do.
So big breath. Stare down here. Hips back. Now bend over more. Now bend over and stay bent over at the bottom and push your hips up. A little better. Take the breath first, lock it in. Yeah, let's do one more. Big breath, lock it in, hips back, bend over. Now hips up. All right, walk it in. Okay, we're coming down pretty good. We just want to definitely exaggerate the hip drive coming up out of the bottom. Yeah, so it's okay for those hips to lead for just a second when you're coming up out of the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Why don't we put a 10 on each side and we'll slowly work it up here.
I was down there a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Riverside.
Okay. 45 minutes away.
Yep. Yep. Duck under, work it into that spot. See if you can get it in there. Okay. Now big breath, looking down at the wall. So bend over more, stay bent over. Stay bent, push the hips. Keep your chest down, lead with the hips. Okay, a little better. Now exaggerate, show me more hips. Good. One more, big breath. Walk it in. All right, so on that fourth one, you stayed in the hips a little bit longer and we saw the hip drive we're looking for. What we want you, as soon as the squat starts, you're going to start fixing that torso angle. You're going to lean over as your butt goes back. And then once your torso angle is here, it's going to stay set. And it's just going to stay set as you hit the bottom. And as you come back up, and it won't get vertical again until right near the top of the squat. So once you lean over, you're going to stay leaned over throughout the bottom. And you won't pull the chest up until the very top. Yeah. You're just having a little urge to pull that chest up early, which is super duper common. But if you try and get vertical too early, you'll rob your ability to get power out of the hips. So stay bent over, and then you'll get more hip drive. You'll get more hip power coming out of the hole. Yeah. Why don't we...
Going down far enough?
Yeah, that's okay. Let's, we just want to see that drive of the hips. Leave that on and throw that on.
Let me check in the logbook where we said that class.
All right, so on this one, if I say stay bent over, it means that when you're at the bottom, you're not going to try and pull your chest up right away. You're going to let those hips lead you up. Okay. Yep. Think hips. So big breath, bend over, stay bent over. Better. Reach back. Reach back as far as you can with your hips. 1 inch deeper. Big breath. One more. And walk it in. So we didn't quite have the hip drive on that last one. Yeah. How's the weight feeling? Feels okay?
Yeah, it's not enough. I mean, it's like, it's almost messes with your balance or whatever.
What was the last weight that you squatted previous to?
I would just do a plate. I would
A plate?
just do
Okay.
one plate.
Yeah. Why don't we?
And that seemed to help a little bit. I guess I don't know why, but it makes
Yeah, no, at a certain point, the weight kind of feels just right for a squat. Why don't we do this? So let's make it, tell you what, let's make it 105. All right, so you're gonna stay tight at the bottom. It means you're gonna keep that back in tight extension, but you're gonna have to lean over, and once that chest is pointed at the ground, keep it pointed at the ground as you're pushing yourself up out of the hole. So big breath before you stand it up. Good. Better. So take the big breath, hips back, bend over. Now keep that lean, stay bent over. Better. Big breath. Stay bent over. There we go. Nice. All right, we got more of that hip drive on that last one. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
It's just fun. It's just not my normal thing.
Yeah, I know. It's not the standard for a lot of people, but once you get practiced at that and good with that, you'll be able to blow past any of the old limits that you had. Yeah, once you get good with this form, you'll be able to load it up so much heavier than you were before. Yeah. Okay. Let's stop there. All right, we'll clean that off. Okay, then we're going to learn the press. So where is this guy? Start with a little bit lighter bar. Okay, so we're going to learn how to press the weight up overhead. So come on up and we'll start with our grip. So put your hands about shoulder width apart on the bar. So what you're going to do is you're going to be gripping about right here, and you're going to make your hands like a diamond shape, where you tip your thumbs down a little bit like that. Look good? Then grip it. Now, what you're going to do, walk your way in until you can put your feet under the bar. Good. Now, we want that knuckles up, and we want your elbow point on this side of the bar, like that. So now take a big breath and stand it up. And we'll step back. So we want feet as wide as your squat stance. Good. So now, what we're noticing here is knuckles up, elbow point on this side of the bar. So you feel how the bar is floating here about an inch off your chest? Okay, so that is our bottom position. That's where it's going to start and end. So now what I want you to do is just press it up over your head, and we'll learn our finish position. So we're going to bring it back over your ears, over here, then a big shrug to finish it off. So that is your finish position. So now bring it back down.
There we go, like that.
And walk it in and rack it. Okay, so we learned the bottom position, the finish position. Now we're going to learn how to move the bar from the beginning to the end position. We're going to use a little momentum from the hips. So stand in your squat stance here. Go ahead. Yep. I'm going to put your hands on your hips. Tighten up your abs. Tighten up your thighs. And you're going to bounce your hips towards the wall. Okay? First time, let's just do it slow. Just reach out there and feel how that tension builds through the front of the abs and the thighs. And then slowly come back. Now tighten that and bounce off of it. Good. Yeah, throw it a little bit more aggressive. Bounce off the wall. Good. Do you feel some of that rebound that comes from that? So what we're going to do in a second, we're going to take our bar and we're going to get it in our bottom position. And you're going to bounce off the wall. And that bounce is going to set up a little momentum that starts our press. Okay?
Okay.
We'll go over it. So come up, take the grip again.
So you are set up for
Come in, cover up that knurling. You're going to be right in there. Yep. And then duck under it, bring the elbow points forward. Good. Yep. Okay, so when you bounce, what you're going to feel is you're going to feel the bar do a little bounce like that, and that's going to give you the momentum to start your press. Okay? So do a bounce without pressing first. Just bounce. Good. Did you feel that little hop the bar does? Okay. So on this next one, take a big breath. Bounce and press. And finish back over the ears, big shrug, and then come back down. Breath, bounce, press. Good. Elbows forward on the way down will bring you right into your start position. Float it a little bit farther forward. All right. There, knuckles up. All right. Breath, bounce, press. Good. Elbows forward on the way down. We're going to do 2 more. Breath. All right. Elbows forward. 1 more big breath. Press. All right. Walk it in. All right. We'll rest for a second, then we'll try it again. Yeah. What do you think?
Weird. It feels weird.
There's a lot going on with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got some coordination challenges to it, but you'll get it. You're doing fine. The idea is that the bounce is going to do 2 things. It's going to give a little hop or momentum to the bar to get it started. The other thing it's really going to do that's helpful is the path in between where the bar starts and where it ends, that line actually goes through our face. And we don't want the bar to go through our face. So when we bounce the hips forward, that torso and the head lean back, and that gets our face out of the way of that bar path. So it clears the path so that the bar can go through that space. Let's try it again. So grip. Push those elbows to this side. Yep. Knuckles up. Yeah, right there. Just a little extension is normal in the wrist, right about like that. So breath, bounce, press. Elbows forward on the way down. So shove the elbows more forward, right out to my hands. Good. Now take a big breath. Bounce and press. Scrape the wall with the elbows on the way down. Breath. So it's going to be 3 things. 1 is breath. 2 is bounce, then press. 1 more. Big breath. Bounce, press. There we go. Walk it in. Okay. How'd it feel?
Weird.
Yeah.
It felt really weird. So.
Let's go up a little bit. Let's put 5 on each side. All right, yeah, rest a second, and then we'll go for 5. So what I want is you're going to lock in that breath really hard, and then it's bounce, press. 1, 2. So squat stance, elbows forward, knuckles up, big breath, bounce, press. Elbows forward on the way down, squeeze them forward. Big breath, get tight, bounce, press. So float the bar. Slow down a second. We're going to go slower. Yeah, float the bar off your chest. Elbows forward, knuckles up. So breath, bounce, press. Good. Let's do one more. Breath, bounce, press. And walk it in. Okay. We're going to rest a minute.
On this next one, so we're going to just go again, put your hands on your hips again, like we did in the beginning. So push your hips all the way forward to the wall. So when you get into this position, when you're snapping your hips forward, as they start to spring back, start pressing the bar. So hips go all the way forward, and as they start to bounce back, then you press. The hip width.
Feel ready?
Yeah.
All right. So, hold on, wrap the thumbs.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you're gonna, you'll turn the thumbs down, we'll grab, then we're tight. So knuckles up, elbows forward, shove those elbows forward to the wall. There we go. So big breath, bounce press. Good, elbows forward on the way down.
But right now you're going to get more.
So breath, then just stand up straight. Get tight here, then bounce press. There we go. Elbows forward. Two more. Big breath. Bounce press. Now start from just standing tall. Big breath. Pull it in. Hips to the wall. Press. Elbows forward. Walk it in. Okay. Why don't we clear this off? Yep, and so it's going to go down at the bottom of that post right there. We're going to take this. So we're going to try another set with the 45-pound bar. And just think about being tight in your rack, tight here, tight abs, tight thighs. When you lock that breath in, everything's going to be tight and solid. So when we bounce, that momentum that's generated is going to help us start that press. So knuckles up, shove the elbows forward, squeeze them forward. So big breath, think, throw your hips at the wall, then press. Good. Elbows forward on the way down. Four more. So start from neutral. Just start tall, breath, then bounce. Good. There you are. There's neutral, breath, bounce. Over the ears, back over the ears. There's over the ears. Good. Let's do another one. Start from neutral. Just get tall.
Big breath.
Then get tight, forward, and up. Good. And back down. And walk it in. Okay. Good deal.
Drag it up your legs. Push the floor.
How challenging is that?
A little bit. I can feel more in the shoulders.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit, yeah.
Back hard.
Okay.
Push.
Just, I mean, mainly because I'm just trying to get used to that.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't we
doing it that way.
Why don't we go up one more level? Let's put 5 on each side. And the thing I want to focus on this set is that hip bounce. So we're getting here, and then you're sometimes backing up to get like a runway speed to get the hip bounce. So you don't have to back up. You don't have to do this part. So when I say neutral or tall, this is just standing tall, and we're only going to do the front half of this bounce. So yeah, bounce and back to tall. So we don't have to go down the runway. Yeah, yeah. So elbows forward, big breath, get real tight, then bounce off the wall with the hips.
Aim the bar back, lock it out over your shoulder joint.
There's a good finish position. All right, let's go tall, neutral, big breath, tighten the abs, bounce. One more. Bounce off the wall, then press. All right. Then we'll walk it in. Okay. So he was not able to log on to the app.
Is it the same, you came in for the open house on Saturday, right? Did you use the same email that the guy you signed out with?
I didn't even get that far.
When you signed up for the intro, we sent out like an email confirmation, right?
Yeah, I got a bunch of them.
Okay. Did you use that same email to try and sign into the?
No, wouldn't even get, I couldn't even get to download. Yeah.
Okay. Let's try it again at the end, see if we can figure it out.
I wrote everything down on paper, so. Okay. Oh, you can just throw it on one of those. All right, so we're going to finish with the deadlift. I'm going to get some weights for us.
All right, Rob, let's get you all locked up. Yeah, I forgot. Our 4 o'clock guy showed up. Our 4 o'clock intro showed up at like 3:50. So I just finished my last.
Here's one for you. And we'll just. Well, so they're bumper plates, so they space it out.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's nice for us. So, tell you what, we'll take that and we'll clip it.
YouTuber.
They're not fake weights. They're real weights. All right, so I'll tell you what, if you take that end, I'll take this end. We're just going to put it down here on the floor. There we go. All right, were you deadlifting before?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. About what weight were you getting up to?
I would get up to 2 plates.
2 plates? Oh, okay, so that's plenty. All right.
I'm not wrapped up in weight that much.
Okay.
I mean,
So we're going to do it in 5 steps. Go over to the other side of the bar, then you can turn and face me. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up in about a hip width stance, and we're going to put the top of the arch of your foot, the middle of your foot, right underneath the bar. Okay, so once we get it set, and usually that's about an inch from the shins. So once we get it right over the midfoot, that's where we want it to stay for the entire lift, over the midfoot. So once we get in our stance and narrow up just a little bit, yep, we're going to try and not roll the bar around on the ground. So we're going to bend over from the hips and not let our legs touch the bar just yet, and grab right outside your legs. Okay, now bend the knees and let those shins come up through the bar.
I pushed it.
Yeah, just a little. So we're going to push it right back over the midfoot. So now what I want you to do is I want you to pretend you're showing your chest to someone in front of you. Look out to the rack in front of you, show your chest to the wall in front of you, and extend and tighten all of this back right here. Get that as tight as you can, then take a big breath. Then push the ground away and slide that bar up your legs. Hold the breath, or retake it. Slide it back down, put it right over your midfoot. Good, then stand up from the bar. We're gonna take a break after each rep. So slide it back down, and we'll let loose of the bar, and then we'll stand up and we'll take a step back. So we're gonna go through it like 5 times, or we just go through the cycle.
Okay.
Yeah. So step 1 is always gonna be come up, midfoot, right under the bar. So we'll go stance. All right, step 2 is gonna be grip the bar without your legs shoving it. There's 2. Now you bend the knees and you squat until the shins come up on there. Now what you're gonna notice is your knee presses out against your elbow crease, and that's gonna help you get consistent. So now, show your chest to that person, extend all that as much as you can, take a big breath, and slide it up your legs. You're gonna see if you can keep that breath, so retake it, and slide it back down. And then we'll let loose. Good. So, when we're setting up here, and we bring those shins to the bar, that height of our butt, we wanna keep it right there. It's gonna be real tempting to drop it as we're trying to get our chest set. Your goal is to keep your butt up in that same position as you get your back set.
This isn't meant to be very long. It's meant to be more of a transitional thing to be comfortable bouncing out of the
So there's the stance, then the grip, then the shins touch. So now, take that big breath. See if you can keep your butt right there while you flatten out your back. And back down. All right. We're going to go through it 2 more times, then we'll pull 5 in a row.
I will. I fly in at like noon.
Here's step 1, stance. 2, grip. 3, shins. Now, big breath, flatten all this. Tight and flat.
No, we'll just go right from airport to here. Huh?
Good. We're going to do 1 more, then we'll take a little break.
Yeah, you got a. There you go. 2017.
Shins. Set your back, take a big breath. Good. Okay. So now just breathe and relax a little bit. Then we're going to practice pulling several in a row. So we're going to see if we can get like 5 in a row. So you don't have to let loose and step back with each one. What you'll do is you'll keep your hands on the bar the entire time. And when you're setting it back down, you're just going to set it right down over your midfoot. You'll let your breath out. You'll take your breath back in. You'll make sure you're all set, really set your back, and then push the ground away and slide it up your legs. You can rest till you feel ready.
That's the plan. I started looking at shopping around for camping stuff. We don't really have too much up here.
So big breath and set your back hard. Get it flat. Hold the breath. Good. Now rebreathe and reset. Hey. Yep. Show your chest to the wall.
Shopping around, maybe we'll find.
Flatten that back as much as you can.
Yes. Perhaps Craigslist or something. Or even
Good. All right, good. Just hold the breath the whole way until you're back down. All right, we can add some more weight to this. Yeah.
Trying to breathe.
Let's go ahead and put it back up on the pins, and we'll take it to a plate.
You got water. Yeah, they're all here. I finally learned how to use it. Hey, that.
So we're going to take these off, and I'll take that.
These sleeves get rolled right. How was your back feeling after Saturday? Fine. It was fine. You just kind of slept weird or something?
Next day is.
All right, then we'll put it down.
Sunday and Monday. Actually, really.
Okay, so we'll rest till you feel ready, and then we'll see if we can do 5 here. So it's going to be, you'll get your stance, midfoot right under the bar, grip without touching it, then shins to the bar, and leave your butt right where it is. Big breath, set the back nice and tight and flat, and then push the ground. So shins, then big breath, set the back really tight. Now keep your butt right there when you set your back. Big breath, show me more extension. Good. Good. Okay. All right. Very nice. Yeah, rest a minute. So why don't we take it to 155, then we'll probably be good. So we'll put a 10 on each side. So we'll rest a minute, then we'll get going with that. Yep, and when you're setting up, you just want to get that back as tight and flat as you can. So we'll go for 5, then we'll see if we can log your stuff in the app. So knees out to elbow crease. Big breath, set your back flat. Hold the breath.
Pause on this one. On this next rep, I need you to push that floor away. Have you ever done a leg press before? There we go. That's much better.
Set.
Pause at the bottom. Just a little bit. Shove your belly down as you lift your chest up.
One more. Hold the breath.
Hold the breath for the entire rep. Big breath. Set. Push.
Okay.
See you later, guys.
Hey, see ya. Good job.